My name is Alexander Pankiev. I am an associate professor and co-chair of Ukrainian culture and ethnography at the Department of Modern Languages and Cultural Studies, Faculty of Arts, and the director of Kulfulker Center at the University of Alberta. Both the Kulfulker Center and the University of Alberta are located on Treaty 6 territory, the land of many indigenous peoples and the homeland of Métis Nation. We respect the sovereignty, lands, histories, languages, knowledge systems, and cultures of all of those nations. The Kulfulker Center is a leading research institution dedicated to the study of Ukrainian folklore, culture, traditions, and the everyday manifestations of identities. The Kulfulker Center is actively supports interdisciplinary scholarship, fostering collaboration between faculty, graduate students, and community partners interested in exploring Ukrainian cultural heritage in Canada and beyond. A central feature of the center is extensive archival collections, which constitute one of the most comprehensive repositories of Ukrainian Canadian folklore in North America. In addition to its archival and research functions, the Kulfulker Center is highly active in organizing scholarly and community events, including international conferences, academic roundtables, symposia, exhibits, and public lectures. And today, as a part of our Cool Folklore Lecture series, we are very honored to host Yevhen Klopotenko. Yevhen Klopotenko is a Ukrainian chef. His work focuses on mostly and not only on traditional Ukrainian cuisine. He runs the restaurants 100 років тому вперед, 100 years back forward, and інші the other. Klopotenko won MasterChef Ukraine in 2014 and then studied at Le Cordon Bleu. In 2017, he led the cult food project to improve school meals in Ukraine. He has documented Ukrainian regional styles of Borshch. His work led to the dish being listed as UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage for Ukraine in 2022. His restaurants had given free meals to Ukrainians who were displaced as a result of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Klopotenko has also written several cookbooks and starred in 2023 documentary film about Borshch titled Borshch, The Secret Ingredient. Before we begin our conversation with Yevhen, a quick announcement for our Zoom audience. You can pose your questions for Yevhen in the Q&A window located at the bottom of the screen. We will do our best to read as many of your questions as possible, but our apologies in advance if we are not able to get to all of them. And we will start with our first question for Yevhen. Yevhen, what inspired you to become a chef?
Hello, everyone. For me, it's a pleasure to be here. Hello, good morning, we have to say, yeah, because in Ukraine it's not morning. What made me chef? I don't know. It's a question, not like it's a normal question, but it's a hard answer because I don't know why I became chef, but I think that all the time I like to mix something. My mother, she was working all the time in a school, and I've been at home after school lessons alone. So I had to heat some food or to cook something. I could cook some eggs, and I think this process of every day mixing food and heating, mixing and heating, that's actually the logic of to be the cook, is to heat the food in different ways of heating different ingredients. But normally you can do with ingredient, you can or freeze it or heat it. So I think it was the beginning. And when I was 18 once or 19, I had to go to university. I had to choose whom I want to be. And for me, it was quite hard to understand who I want to be. And once I cooked pasta, just simple Italian pasta, and I fell in love with it. I said, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" And I was imagining that I want to cook every day. So if I will cook 3 times a day, I will have nice emotions. So in a week I will have 21 nice emotions in a week. This was my logic, and that's the moment when everything starts. And only in the future I will understand that it was my inspiration to be the cook. But I have kind of a bit different story. It's not like other cooks, like I was working hard in the kitchen, or my granny was cooking for me, and I was studying, I was teaching how to cook. So my way is just I was cooking the omelets, and then once I tried the real super good taste.
Okay. But what about your first dish? You mentioned that it was Italian dish.
No. My first dish was borscht. I don't know why, but during the filming movie, which called Borshch, I think that some of you watched this movie. If not, you have to watch. And it was the last episode, and I was cooking with my father, and he started to tell me stories that the first dish was borscht, and I remember that. I remember how when I was young and small, and I was cutting the cabbage and I was crying, and that's moment I remember for all my life. But I didn't knew that it was borscht. So that's the joke of our life, that first dish was borscht, and then I started to work with the borscht like our cultural dish, and that's first dish. Yeah, it was borscht.
Okay, so you said once that Ukrainian cuisine is a reflection of national identity. What does it mean to you, and how you actually define like Ukrainian cultural cuisine and how it reflects national identity also?
I think that everyone knows that in Ukraine, the most popular word after Ukrainian army is identity, because we want to understand who we are. We want to understand what is ours, what is not, and that's the moment of discovering ourselves in the past to understand who we want to be in the future. So it's now what is happening every day, and for me it's like for the Ukrainians who've been living under USSR, the food was like just the energy, and even in the Ministry of Culture until 2019, you couldn't like food is there is no document which can really tell that food is a culture. Normally, culture is a music or clothes or different crafts or different no lifestyle moment, maybe some different part of I don't know of something, but nobody thought that food is a culture. But culture is, what is it? Culture is a like some rules which been held for the centuries, or been like people was like doing something for the centuries in some special territory. So for us, culture, and for everyone has its own culture, because there were some rules how to eat, or maybe how to sing, or maybe how to live life. So and in Ukraine, I changed that, and now you can easily food can be easily the part of the culture. And when I start to think, what is identity? And when I start to think identity, what does it mean? And I understood that identity. So if you want to understand someone, you have to when you go to other country, what you want to say, what you want to understand. You want to understand the language, you want to understand the lifestyle, you want to understand the religion, and you want to understand the food. So easily, if to say like in that way, so 25% of our body, of our identity, of our mindset is the food. And that's why I think that for me, if I will ask you, if you will eat, for example, pizza, and for example, you will speak Italian language, and for example, you will be doing like this, I will ask, who are you? And you will say, yeah, I'm Italian. The same here. If you eat borscht, you speak Ukrainian, you wear Ukrainian clothes, so who are you? I think you're Ukrainian. That's why food is everyday thing which what we are, it's like a procedure, I don't know how to say it, what we are doing every day. So and the most important thing of our life, it's a food, because without food there is no life. So, and that's why for me, food is a part of the identity, definitely. And if you want to understand from what nation to what nation you belong, you have to just to understand what people who've been lived on this territory, what they've been eating and how they've been cooking the animals or maybe vegetables, and then you will easily understand your past, and you will be connected to your to your nation.
Yeah, so then my question is also connected partially to what you were explaining about identities, but what are the biggest misconceptions probably foreigners and also Ukrainians they have about Ukrainian food and Ukrainian cuisine?
Um, I think that when we speak about misunderstandings, we have to all the time to think about geopolitics, and we have to say about the mm, like what does it mean, Ukrainian food. I think that that's the most hardest question. And when you will ask Ukrainians what is Ukrainian food, Ukrainians will call Borshch, Varenyky, maybe pampushki, maybe something else, and then they will start to think what is it Ukrainian and what is it not. Because during the few hundred centuries, Russia, they were trying to vanish our mindset, our identity. When USSR happened, they start they closed the borders. That's why all the nice products, it was impossible to bring them, and that's why people had to cook with the products which they can they can have easily. So like this two centuries, maybe 200 two centuries of our living, maybe more, all the understanding of what is that Ukrainian gastronomy, of Ukrainian food, it was just vanishing step by step, layer by layer, by layer. And now when you go to the birthday or you go to the New Year Eve, what you have just the table, like a mix of USSR, Russian, and some kind of food system which we had, like it was our gift from the USSR to Ukrainian people. It's a mindset of USSR person, and that's why everything which we have, it's this horrible mix of our past. And now what we have to do, we have just to clearly understand that's not ours. This food was created during the USSR. It doesn't means that USSR we have to forget about this. Yes, it is influenced much, and that's history, and we cannot just like forget about this. But we cannot call, for example, a Russian salad or olivier, we call it, or vinaigrette, or different salads or different soups. We cannot call it Ukrainian food. And even when you go to the restaurant in Ukraine, which calls home cuisine, you see USSR cuisine. And when I ask someone what is it real Ukrainian cuisine, nobody knows. And that's why I start to, first of all, we have to understand what is ours. And that's what I'm doing for the last 10 years. I'm trying to find all the to find our cuisine, to clean it and to put on a table. And people who are coming to my restaurants, they've been shocked normally because they don't know what is it. So the most like we have a lot of misunderstanding about Ukrainian gastronomy, because normally Ukrainian gastronomy, it's not, that doesn't exist now in such a way which I'm dreaming about. And but I think that everyone feels it, but nobody can call it or name it. So we need to wait maybe 10, maybe 20 years, and after that we need to do like a lot of PR. We need to do a lot of different things, and in the future we could easily say this food is from this period, this food is from my childhood, and this from my granny, and that's my authentic gastronomy, authentic cuisine, and this was food of my king from Kiras, and like something like this. And so that's the so horrible mix which we have to clean it.
Okay, so you just mentioned that it is going to be in 20 years. And to do it, and what you are doing, it is also a part of cultural diplomacy. Can you
Yeah.
actually elaborate a little bit on how you are involved in cultural diplomacy through food and through actually Ukrainian cuisine, and what the place it actually has in your like personal and also professional activities?
Um, so when I understood that our main dish is borscht, and when I start to feel it like not the dish, I start to feel it like our culture. When I understood that borscht been changing during the changing of the products, during the changing of system, how it been cooked, and is still changing. And when I understood that first borscht, it was just the fermented stems with some water, and then I understood when the potatoes start when Columbus opened America, the borscht changed, but still it was the borscht. Until now we have the red borscht, but this red borscht is only for 200 years. And when I understood that that's even in the future, when we will have global heating and we will have bananas, we will have some water with bananas, and we will call it borscht. And for now everyone is saying no, it's impossible, but I can imagine what they've been saying about the potatoes. They've been saying, what you are doing, nobody have been putting potatoes to that dish, and now like everyone says, yeah, it's normal. I think that's the so borscht all the time coming with us all the time, borscht coming together with the Ukrainian nation. That's why it's a part of the culture. When I understood this, I said that we need just to promote one dish, and when we will be promoting one dish, it will take the other dishes together. And I don't know how to say in English, but when some boat is being breaking ice boat is the first main boat, and then after there is different small boats coming after main. And when Borshch been recognized by UNESCO, I understood that everyone in Ukraine start to cook not just the food, not just the dish of the grannies, as they start to cook the world heritage. That's the changing of the who you are in your. It's like it was in a funny word saying like, oh, now I'm cooking the heritage, but that's the how the people start to change the thinking. And then I start to understand, if you want to discover the nation, or you want to promote some nation, or you want to say to the that you exist, what you have to do, you have to do one dish. And then I start to think, if you want to understand, so I will tell the country, and you will say the dish. So I say USA, everyone say burgers. Yeah, I will say Italy, everyone say pasta, pizza. I will say Japan, everyone will say sushi. And then I will say Finland, and everyone like Finland. Or I will say, I don't know, for example, Sweden, or maybe other country. And there is no one dish which you've been promoting so much, by which you can understand and describe the country. If I will ask, call 10 Japanese dish, you will not call. You know one, and that's all. And I understood that we have to promote the borscht. To promote borscht, we have to make it modern culture. We have to put it all around. We have to make the clothes. We have to do the songs. We have to do as much as is possible to just to make it live, to not to make it like a dish, to make it our culture all around. And that's why when I understood this, I started to do different conferences. I started to produce too much information about the borscht, just in a way to make the connection in the world, in the people of the world, to make connection that borscht is Ukraine. And when you will have this connection, it means that if Ukrainians has the borscht, they have gastronomy, and that's the
Mhm.
easy way.
Mhm.
But because if you will say Finland, they don't have. I don't want to say that Finland is bad. I'm just, I don't know what is the main dish of the Finland people, and it's hard to understand. Do they have gastronomy? Maybe not. But in Ukraine, that makes the difference. That makes nation like more alive. That gives some interest, and that's my way how I become the cultural diplomat, because I just put Borscht to the UNESCO, and then a lot of a lot of diplomats from the different countries from Ukraine. They start to say me, "Thank you, you did our jobs." I said, "Yeah." Okay, someone said Finnish bread. Yeah, okay. I don't want to say that Finland is there is some there is no at all food. I think definitely they have food. I don't know why I said to say why I start to speak about Finland.
Okay, folklore is is about variations, yes, and Borshch also has so many variations in Ukraine. Yeah, so which regional Borshch variation actually fascinates you? From Poltava, Hutsul, Kyiv, or maybe southern version of Borshch?
Uh, for me, fascinating that we have the still regions because administrative regions, it's just administrative regions. And in our country, when there is one family has been creating, the husband and the wives, they've been marrying, and they're starting to discuss that someone that in his family, borscht been cooked by one recipe, in her family, borscht been cooked by other recipe. Someone husband likes beans and the wife doesn't like beans, and they've been discussing about this, and that's the how the borscht creates, and that's the actually how the new recipe creates. So I don't think that we have regional borscht anymore, and we have just the family borscht, and that's all. And as much families we have, as much recipes of borscht we have, definitely. And main thing that we don't have like 25 regions, we have like 10 of them, because we have the north of Ukraine where there's a lot of forests, and south of Ukraine, and that's much more better because this administrative thing that you have to have Chernihiv borscht, you have to have borscht from Poltava. It's for me, I don't believe in this. So but answering your question, what is the most interesting combinations which are people are putting to the borscht? I can say it. Normally it's blood of boar. Boar, yeah, it's animal. Why? Because on North Ukraine, people have been killing hunters when they killing the animal. They taking this blood and putting to the borscht, and it's called the metal borscht or black borscht, and this actually very good. I like it much. We can say about white borscht from the white beetroot with the white beetroot, and also we have white borscht with the fish, but fish been cooked first on the pan with the and when you're cooking the fish on the pan, some white water been white liquid actually been coming from the fish, and then you put this white liquid to the borscht, and this borscht start to be like some kind of different crazy elements. Also, there is borscht from USSR. I don't like it, but it's from the I don't know, it's preserved kilka. I don't know how it's called. It's some anchovies in tomatoes, but it's awful taste. But there is some borscht like this. What else? Also, yeah, mushroom borscht when you cook like hundreds of mushrooms, a bit of beetroot. But now I've been discovering the that's I'm telling you, the borscht which been cooked now like in modern way of like now. But I'm discovering and I'm writing. I almost finished to write history of the borscht. It's like not me writing. I have like 5 or 7 or 10 people who has been writing. I'm just organizing this process. So now we can understand that our borscht. Oh, it was totally different from what we are eating, and you could find like everything. You can find the borscht with the almonds milk and the caviar of pike caviar without the beetroot at all, because even 200, if you want to be really shocked, you have to go 200 years before the beetroot came here, and you can you'll be shocked in the every recipe, because everything was been around you could easily put to the borscht, like there were no rules at all. Whatever you had you'd put there because you want to continue your life. And that was, you can say pear, I say yeah, like smoked pear, yeah, you have plums, yeah, apples, yeah, or what is that, chicken, definitely baked chicken, yeah, some bones of some animals, yeah, some wild ducks, yes, some a lot of fish, yeah. And until 19 until 20th century, just the Borscht cooked on the fish was the most important because we had a lot of fish, and so whatever you just imagine, you can put to the borscht, and you can find this recipe somewhere.
Yeah, but at your restaurants, what recipe of borscht you serve?
I created because I ate a lot of borscht, and I created not like combination. Mm, it's not about recipe, it's about experience or about the taste, which I want you to feel when you put your spoon in your mouth. So you have to have the smoke aroma because definitely it was like for the 1,000 years borscht been cooked or in a wooden oven or just on some how is called some pot on top on a fire. So all the time you have to have some smokiness. You can add whatever you want. You can add smoked paprika, you can add some smoke, you can add smoked chicken. It doesn't matter, just aroma of the smoke. Then you have to have the balance of the sweet and sugar, so you have to add the or sour cream and some sugar, or you can add jam and some sour cream. So balance of the sweetness and the sourness. Then you have to add a lot of beetroot because Ukrainians they like beetroot, so a lot of beetroot, and then you have to have the stock, just the real stock. It doesn't matter from what. You can have the chicken stock, I don't know, vegetable stock, fish stock. So you have to have just the pure stock with a lot of beetroot on top, and you have the sour sweet balance, and then you have smokiness. That's the formula. And whatever you want, you have to do. Okay, if you want to put some cabbage, put cabbage, onions, carrots, whatever. That it doesn't matter because you will not feel it. You will feel the smokiness because in your mouth, in your nose, and you will feel the sweetness, sour sweetness balance. Bam! And because of the fats, you will have the how it's called. You will have the насыщенность. I don't know how to say it. It's
Saturation? Yeah.
saturation. You will have the saturation from the borscht, if it's possible to say like this. I never heard this combination of words saturation from the borscht. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's about borscht, but what about other dishes that you think that they are Ukrainian from Ukrainian cuisine that they are not really like well represented at this moment, and you think that they also need to be recognized also not only in Ukraine but also in the world? So borscht is one, yeah. But what is the second dish you would actually name?
I can name easily 5 of them, and that's all.
Okay.
Because all of other dishes we have to discover. First of all, we have to discover to ourselves, and then we have to promote in the world. And so I think that Varenyky or cottage cheese cottage cheese cutlets. I don't know how to say it. Cottage just fried cottage cheese with the flour and eggs. That's definitely what everyone will like. And that's what I'm actually trying to do now. I'm trying to sell them to the North America. So maybe in the future, in the 1 year, everyone will have it's called cloud cake. We created such a name, but you have just to wait it. Then chebirek. It's a creamy Tatarian dish. It's actually the raw meat been covered by the dough and then been deep fried. And because it's a raw meat, normally everyone in the world putting in some dough and in deep fryer they put already cooked meat. That makes the total difference. And when you have when you eat this chebirek, you have a lot of juices from the
Like
meat,
juice, yeah.
and it gives the unique taste. I think everyone will like it. We have halushki. It's the Ukrainian pasta. Definitely everyone will like it. And we have the cabbage rolls. Yeah, we have the our because cabbage is very important for Ukrainians. And if you do cabbage rolls, the world already knows about the rolls like sushi rolls. They know the spring rolls, and we have cabbage rolls, and that's what I can be easily recognized in the world, and I think it's going to be competitive in the world. So I think these 5 dishes we will start to work with, and then we have more.
Okay, so In your opinion, how the full-scale invasion has changed the way Ukrainians cook and eat on daily basis?
I think that in Ukraine we all the time, if you speak about Ukraine like for the 500 years, so every 50 years we have the war, or we have the genocide, or we have the different awful things happening. So our food culture already all the time connected to some something which are connected to the to the Russia when they're trying to vanish us. But sorry, I was angry. It's all the time. So I think that the main idea how it's changed. We forgot about the all modern rules. Like we forgot about the milk, banana milk. We forgot about the avocado, because before that it was the healthy food, avocado. This modern waves of the food programs, and everyone was trying to be healthy. Everyone was trying to eat less carbons. And now in Ukraine, just nobody cares about this, because we need to have more energy, and the food gives this hope that if you have the nice food, you have the hope. And all the restaurants who've been aimed like their main audience was for example vegetarians, or been like healthy food, like everything is stopped. And now everyone is eating carb food and just the homemade food, just without any haute cuisine, modern cuisine. Everyone would want just to have the food. And after war, when we will win, I think everyone will be back like, oh my God, I have to eat less. Let's try to find some new ways of the diets, and it's going to be modern. But for now, nobody cares at all. That's the main difference. Like, even you will not find the restaurant in Ukraine which gives the super modern Michelin food. Nobody cares about this, because if you go to the restaurant, you have to have the food. And even now in Ukraine, because of the huge invasion, it's been like with the restaurators been creating this, idea of high level casual food. It means that you have to have, for not much money, you have to have super tasty and super high level food. And I think that if you go to abroad, you have to pay like $200 for this dish, for this, I know, 5 or 3 dishes. In Ukraine it can cost like 30 or maybe $20, and this makes the difference totally. So I think in Ukrainians, they start to eat more food which gives hope, and that's all.
Do you have any actually new dishes that have been created during the time of full-scale invasion that you can name, and what are those actually dishes?
No, it's normally not, because now it's much more better to eat and to discover our past, and everyone is
Past,
trying
yeah.
to understand what my granny have been eating, and I want to remember. I want to have the connection with my past, because for the last 100 years we had no way how we could touch it. We have like our doors to our past was closed, and now it is open. It's wide open, and every day you're like, really, really, I didn't knew. So we want to touch the past, not to create something. But when something has been creating, it's been creating because of the war. And yeah, a lot of dishes like palyanice at the beginning of the war, and different dishes, but when something is happening in our war, we're trying to create some dish, but it's just the dish like mem dish. You have to create something to have the fun. For example, for now we created the dessert, and in 2 weeks we will present it. It's dessert which called karinska, because we didn't use that. We had the famous Hollywood modelier, and she was before. She's a Ukrainian opera singer or dancer, and she created this famous suit for the belly. I don't know how it's called. For the ballet, when It's called pachka. I don't know. And pavlova. It's a Russian dessert, a Russian dessert because it was a Russian opera or ballet dancer, and we created a Ukrainian one. And that's what is happening. It's like a renaissance, how it is. So if it was something creating, we're creating because of our past or because in memory of someone who is important for Ukraine.
Okay, we have already collected several questions, so probably we can probably read some of them. Ilya Pokatilo, our communication assistant, will help me to moderate the Q&A session right now. So Ilya, so
Thank you, Alexander. Thank you, Yevhen. It is very inspiring listening to you.
Thank you.
You talked already so much about Borshch, but of course we have questions about it. So our first question is, what is so special about Borshch for you?
For me, how to say it? I was rethinking Borshch a lot of times because even when I opened the restaurant in Ukraine, it was 6.5 years ago. I had Borshch, but you had to ask Borshch in English language because I didn't want that Ukrainians asked Borshch in my restaurant, and now totally changed everything. Like everything changed. It's because of my evolution, my understanding our past. So for me, Borshch, it's so. I think that Borshch reflects Ukrainian nation because like we are so different as a different recipe of the Borshch. So we are so different, like a different recipes, but of the same Borshch. So we can quarrel about we can quarrel, we can have different thoughts about the politics or about different things, but then we go home and we eat Borshch. It can be different, but it's the same Borshch. That unites us, and that's I think what describes us most. And that's literally how it is. And that's what is for me Borshch. It's you can eat it, and you can be connected to your people.
Thank you. Our next question is, Ukrainian food in Alberta is very different from Ukraine. Most restaurants have only 5-6 dishes, and they are all the same. Varenyky with cheddar cheese, vegetarian borscht, often without zasmashka, голубці, garlic, ковбаса, налисники, and that's it. All these restaurants and food truck have never tried to change their menus and learn something new about the Ukrainian cuisine. Most people in Canada think that the Ukrainian cuisine is very poor and have only 5 dishes. At the same time, Thai and Vietnamese restaurants in Alberta have over 50 dishes on menu. Chinese restaurants have hundreds of dishes. Ukrainian newcomers opened Japanese and Italian restaurants, but not Ukrainian ones. What do you think we can do to change this situation and show Canadians what our food actually is and who we really are? Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. That's the most it's very hard question. I mean, like there's very easy answer, but it's very hard to do this. So we have to understand how the Thai food become Thai food. So we have to understand that the Thai government, they've been paying $8,000 for the people for Thai people who've been living abroad, and if they wanted to open some I don't know, some food truck, government gave them $8,000. So can you imagine how fast they created this influence of the Thai food? There was a government program. So we have to understand this. When was the first big wave of immigration of Italians from the Italy to the North America? They brought with themselves the recipe of their childhood, and they just start to cook them. And when it was the big, I know it was already 3 waves of the immigrants from the Ukraine to the America, what they could bring with themselves. They could bring some kind of Ukrainian food and a lot of Soviet food, unfortunately. And if now you ask someone to open Ukrainian restaurant, what you can give? what these people what they know about Ukrainian cuisine? Not much. Why? Because nobody knows about cuisine, not much. And that's the problem. But we have to solve it. And how we have to solve it? We have to understand that if we want to be on the gastronomy map, we have to be competitive. We have to be competitive in the way, not just we have to cook our food and that's all. We have to remake it a bit better. We have to make it more modern. We have to be better than Thai food. I mean, we have to give the same taste as not the same taste, but the same experience. So when some person is entering or thinking, I want to go to the Italian restaurant or to Ukrainian. In Ukrainian restaurants, they will have we call it earth taste, like taste with from the from the products which been grown in the earth, like beetroot, carrot, potatoes, and this. When you go to the Italian restaurant, you have fish taste. I mean, ocean taste. You have some freshness, and that's why what we have to do. We have to cook our potato in such a way, our carrots in such a way that it has to start to be fresh, and then people will discuss to go to Ukrainian or not. We have not to change our menu. We just have to cook it just in a bit different way. That's one idea, and that's why what I'm doing. I opened a restaurant called Poltava in Ukraine for the last 2.5 years. And for the last half year, I've been working with that too much because we have halushki. It's the same as the pasta, but we have to put proper sauces, proper ingredients, and it's going to be pasta. And we have to cook our meat in a bit different way. We have to do like not authentic like our granny's been doing, but just to change it to the modern, not to the modern, but to the way which be competitive. And when in Ukraine, so I will be in US for in 1 month, and I will present the model already of the restaurant or cafe or bistro which called Poltava, and I want Poltava to be famous all around the world, and I want someone like invest in this place, and I know that already I have the menu which are Ukrainian because I've been cooking for all the recipes is from the book of Kotlarevsky, who been living 200 years ago, but you can eat it them and they can be competitive, and it's not only about Varenyky, and because we have much more wider thing. And if you will discover how the Peruvian cuisine become famous in the world, it was the same processes. So it was different people cooking different things. Nobody liked it, but it was one guy, Gaston Aucurio, who took the all experience of the combination, because in Peru there is a Nikkeian food, combination of the Japan tradition and the Peruvian tradition, and he opened a few restaurants all around the US, and in Peru. And once people discovered ceviche, as now world discovering Borshch, and Peruvian cuisine after ceviche started to be famous, and everyone started to discover what's that Peruvian cuisine, and all these things start to be happening, but because this ceviche started to be very tasteful, and he add to his menu the proper ingredients because he is professional. And what I'm thinking that now it's the time for the professionals to overthink Ukrainian cuisine, to take the best things which can be competitive, and to open one restaurant, and then to second restaurant, and then other restaurants have to inspire from this restaurant. It's like now it's just the time. Just we have to wait until one restaurant, maybe mine, maybe not, will be open and will be successful, and all other restaurants, they will be watching this restaurant and will be making these menus and all this food and everything in the way to make the Ukrainian gastronomy modern. Unfortunately, for now, situation is that like you're telling, but there is no. I don't see the. I don't see the. Okay, I don't see I don't understand why it has been the other way. So now it is in this way because our past and our history is been doing it this way, and now we have to change it, and that's the matter. That's only our responsibility, and we have to stand up and to do.
Thank you, Hannah. Very inspiring once again. So speaking about the US, in our next question, so you are the ambassador of Borshch. So I'm sure you know that in the US there is even a saying, cheap as Borshch. I want to change that here in Canada and start with Edmonton. Would you be interested in joining or supporting this initiative?
Yeah, it's the most hard. It's the hardest thing to change some proverbs, because to change proverb is normally you have to you have to wait 20 years, because 20 or 40 years there's a generation of people who've been using this word, and unfortunately it is like it is. So, but we can play on this initiative. We can say to be expensive like a Borshch, and to make it popular, to make it viral, to make it not to say that we don't like to say to be cheap like cheap like a Borshch, but better to use this and to say it another way. Now everything has to be expensive like a Borshch, and we have just to do this, to make it viral, and everyone will say, because everyone know this already know this proverb. Yeah, it's not like okay proverb. And now you can change it. And yeah, if you will write me, I will support everything which I can support. It's just a matter of my time. If I have time, we can try to do this. I know that it's a hard way, but we just can try it.
Absolutely. Okay, our next question. First of all, thank you for promoting Ukrainian. Really appreciate what you are doing and what you have already done. What can you tell us about Prince Harry's visit to Ukraine? Did he respond you back about Borshch? Slava Ukraini, Героям слава.
When I was discovering the Borshch, I found like a lot of different mentions in different I don't know, unexpected parts of the world and of our not our of the world history. And I found once that in 1980s one lady she's been head of some hospice, something like this in Britain, and she asked the Buckingham Palace, she asked what is the most like what is Diana, the Princess Diana, what she liked the most in her like I don't know in her what is the most favorite dish of the Princess Diana, because she wanted this lady who was the head of the hospice, she wanted to took this recipe and to cook in this hospice. It was just her help and support for the people. And the secretary of the Buckingham Palace, he wrote that thank you for your request, let D like a door Borshch, and gave the recipe like you have to take the chicken, you have to take some milk, beetroot, some sour cream, some onions, and bam. I said what? And in archives of the Buckingham Palace you can find it easily, and that's why I took this note and I went to the Prince Harry and said, "Did you know that your mother liked Borshch?" He said, "Wow!" And I gave him a jar with the Borshch, and I know that his wife Meghan, she has a famous show, like a popular show in Netflix with where she's cooking. Maybe this small story will she will cook this jar and she will cook the Borshch in the next season, and maybe it can give the millions of the viewers all around the world when Meghan will be cooking Borshch. That's why it was my small aim why I came to the Prince Harry, because I want to share this thing with him, and that's something much more than just to give the Borshch. I was not spending with him a lot of time because it was a lot of people all around him, but I just gave. I had 2 minutes, and I told him about this story, and we have just to wait. Maybe we will see on Netflix how the Meghan cooks Borshch, is the Borshch which loved the mother of Lady Diana.
That would be amazing. Okay, our next question from the attendee. I had the pleasure of visiting and dining at your restaurant in Lviv, Inchi, and I was incredibly impressed by the ingredients you use in your creative yet distinctly Ukrainian cuisine. Ingredients that are often not commonly used in food, such as konopля or kulbaba, among many other. How do you discover these ingredients, and what is your approach to incorporating such unusual or unexpected elements into your dishes? And thank you for talking Ukrainian cuisine to the next and such for taking Ukrainian cuisine to the next and such creative level.
Thank you very much. Thank you for visiting my place. When someone is saying unexpected or maybe unusual, it's only unusual for now because we don't know that it was usual, it was common. Like even 100 years, maybe 150 years ago, it was common. We've been eating a lot of konopля, yeah. We was eating a lot of different seeds. What I made, I just made the exploration, and I'm just traveling all around Ukraine, speaking with different people. I'm reading a lot of books, and now I'm doing the huge job for the last half year. I'm trying to connect the Kiev Rus, the Kiev Rus food with the modern food, and I want to understand how it changed, how it developed through the different things which been how it's called, which we've been changing our cuisine. So for me, it's so important to understand what was ours before, what we've been eating before the potatoes. We've been eating millet, pshono. It was like so common, but now everyone says no, it's not common. So for me, it's not a problem at all because I'm. If you want to see what I'm doing really, what is that creativity? You have to go to my dinner when I combining some, for example, dead rat with some eyes of a tuna. That's creativity, and that's what I'm. And when you go to my restaurants, there is almost no creativity, and that's what just I'm taking the ingredients which have been common for the like 100 years ago and just putting on the plate. And because we have the DNA memory, we eat and we understand that we like it, but why we don't know. It's the same. I can tell about parsnip. Танцювала риба з раком, а петрушка з пастернаком. Like our famous song, like crayfish was dancing with fish, and the parsnip root was dancing with the parsley root. And everyone knows the parsnip, but nobody knows how it tasted. That's exactly what was what happened, and that's why I'm trying not to make it. So for my main aim is not to scare people, because when I'm taking some old ingredients I'm put and people say, "Oh my God, it's so hard to eat." I said, "No, just relax it. It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay." And that's step by step. We're trying to understand and we're trying to show our best to our guests and to the world.
Thank you, Hannah. Our next question. I enjoy your English language cookbook and recognize techniques that update the traditional. How did your training at the, apologies for my pronunciation, Cordon Bleu and Bleu, and influence, how it influenced your adaptation of Ukrainian traditional dishes, for example, Borshch?
When I was studying in the oldest French school, what I was doing, I was just trying to scan everyone, teachers, and to understand techniques. But it's not like techniques how to cut the onions. It's techniques how to think and how to care about the food. I mean. I understood that in this school, every door, every classroom, it was called by the name of one of the different famous people who influenced on the world gastronomy and who've been from the France. And I just wrote down all the names of these guys, and I started to discover what they've been doing. So when it was a lot of chefs in the castles, yeah. And then when there was French Revolution, everything changed. The castles have been shut down, and the chefs was without the work, without their jobs, and they start to open the restaurants. It was the moment when everything changed. So what they made, they start to take the recipe of their grandmothers and mothers, and start to do this in just the normal way, not just the home way, but professional way. And then the electricity start to be like, appeared, the electricity appeared, and the different pots, different techniques, modern all instruments, then shock freezers, blast freezers, and it started to be the super modern. But still, what they made, they just took just the simple food and they made it like more professional. During the changing all the system, like kitchen equipment been changing and the food been changing. That's the main idea. What I thought, not I have not to create something, I have just to find something which is real ours, and I have to imagine how it would change through the evolution of the equipment in the kitchen. So what I have now in my restaurants, that's how the food I think could be if we never had USSR. And if we be living in a country without Russia, we could just easily took the food and we just could evaluate it like step by step. It could be evaluated. Like we could have the same period of evolution as France had, but we not. Though that's what I thought the most. I saw the beginning of the French gastronomy, and I was trying to understand how they changed it, and this my ideas, well, like French ideas, or maybe my exploration of the French gastronomy, evaluation of the French gastronomy, I brought to Ukraine. And now what I had to do, now I have to just to find the recipe and just to put it in a way how it has to be, nothing else.
Very interesting. Thank you. So if we talk about Ukrainian food without USSR, we can discuss it in Diaspora. And our next question is very Diaspora specific. So we have Varenyky, but here, for example, in Edmonton, we tend to call them pierogis.
Pierogi. Yes.
Your thoughts on usage of these terms? And this person, they were raised on Varenyky.
Yeah, that's the main. That's the first wave of the immigrants. They've been coming from the west of Ukraine to the North America, and mothers of that people. They've been under the Poland, and I mean under Rzeczpospolita, under Poland, and that's why it's normal that the first wave of the immigrants, they called on the Polish way, they called the Varenyky pierogi. And that's actually a Polish name. And yeah, we've been not only under USSR, we also been and under with Poland. Okay, and that's the problem. But the first way of immigrants, they start to open the restaurants. You know, the Veselka restaurant in New York, and a lot of them, and they start to sell Borshch and pierogi, and that's now it's made. It gave opportunity to the Polish dish pierogi to be famous. And now if we want to fight back, we will lose, because that's already how it happened, unfortunately, because it's historical thing. But what we can do, we can speak about feelings. What is inside the pierogi? If you can divide easily pierogi with the potatoes, with the mushrooms, with the maybe cabbage. But if you maybe with the cottage cheese, maybe, I don't know. But if we speak about Varenyky, we have to say vishnya or cherries with the poppy seeds. And when you take when you have the gyodze, it's a dumpling from the Japan, but also you have the dumplings from China. It's kind of a bit similar a bit, but it's different about logic. So what we can do, we cannot scream like, oh, it's not pierogi, it's Varenyky. We can say that we have Varenyky, but their uniqueness is their feeling. We can use vishnya and poppy seeds, and it makes totally different. And we have to love ours and to promote ours, not to quarrel with the other dishes. Like, okay, unfortunately we cannot say that it's ours, but it's okay. We have something else, and we have to be focused on that.
Absolutely. Next question. Thank you for your presentation and initiatives. My first question concerns your work on promoting food culture in Ukrainian schools. In your interviews, you constantly mention the importance of helping the new generation grow up with a different understanding of food, healthy, diverse, and not trivial. Do you notice any progress or prospects in this area, not only in terms of food consumption, but also teaching students on how to cook? I'm asking because back during my school years, about 20 years ago, there was still a general division in so-called трудове навчання, labor education classes. Boys worked with metal and wood, while girls cooked and sewed. From your experience, has this situation changed?
Yeah, because there is no more these labor courses. They've been we don't have it in the schools for the last 10 years, maybe. But now it's been in Ministry of Education. There is discussion about sex education, about financial education, about the military education, and about the food education. So there is four more or less important things in a lifestyle, in modern lifestyle, in a modern way, or in a modern person. And there is no at all. There is no one of these elements. I didn't think like maybe some few of them like everywhere, but normally there is no lesson. There is no some special rule how it has to be. Maybe some additional lessons. So children after school they've been taught different things, but not the things which can be useful for their life. And now is discussion what to do with this, and if this lesson of teaching cooking again will be back. It's not enough because it has to be not only food. It has to be like a complex of the different things. So now it's I don't see that people start to cook more. Definitely not. But I know that people start to think. Children start to think in a different way. They know what is that basil. They not so a lot of people, a lot of children, they know what is it different ingredients which they never been hearing before. They taking these ingredients and they coming to homes and they saying they like educating their parents. They said, have you heard that today we've been eating basil? Mother, can you cook me something with basil? Mother said, what is that basil? I never tried it. So that's the system which we need. When you're changing the system, like maybe 10 years, maybe 15, you have to wait. Because it's not like you changed and everything changed. Not. We have to spend the time. So, and yeah, I think that food changed, the philosophy changed, our vector where we're going changed, but still a lot of things need to be done if you want to reach some prominent results.
So talking about the outreach, the second question from this attendee, it's relating to cultural diplomacy. Do you see potential for promoting Ukrainian cuisine internationally in a way similar to how Swedish dishes is presented in IKEA, cafe and bistro, where people encounter it almost unintentionally as a part of their everyday shopping experience?
It's too smart. It's too smart, and unfortunately, we're not on that level. But we have it's not our road. I think that it's just a super. It's great thing what IKEA did. But we first of all we have to create the companies, which are worldwide known, and then these companies will be responsible for using some food or something or some part of our culture to be famous. But I think we will be waiting to. It will take too much time. Better just our main card in Ukraine gastronomy is that while all other cuisines have been developing, our been frozen, and now it's like artifact. When you're opening that, nobody knows about Ukrainian gastronomy, nothing, and you can easily shop people with our dishes. But if you know our dishes, if you discover our dishes and you can give it for the people, the world understood that they lost something, because the world normally knows a lot of different dishes, a lot of things, but these dishes they can easily give some new show some, I don't know, some new wave of the food, and that's our main card. We have to use it.
Yes. So another question. How many times has the borscht recipe at your restaurant 100 years ago changed over the past 6.5 years?
0. We just changed some kind of how we cut cabbage, beetroot, and amount of plum jam which are adding. We have been changing to nothing else.
Oh. If it's not a secret, what was the cutting of the beetroot? What was different about it?
So first it was too small. So I mean, when we've been cooking in a wooden oven for 3 hours, this borscht, and because it was so thin, it started to be, I don't know, it loses the form, shape, and when you eat like some different structure which you cannot understand what is that. So we made it a bit thinner, yeah, a bit bigger, and then during the process of cooking, you still in the end can understand that's beetroot.
Okay. So could you tell us about your books that you wrote and where people can get them?
So I have the 5 books, and you can buy it in Ukraine. But if you want to buy in North America, you can go to the Amazon. I have the one book which I published last year. Is a book about Ukrainian gastronomy, and it specially was created for the North America. And I made like I took a lot of dishes, and I just made it like possible to cook in North America kitchens. So that's easily, you can find it on Amazon.
Okay, we can share the link in the end of our talk. So next question is, do you think it is proper that Ukrainian Canadians call Varenyky with cheddar and an authentic Ukrainian dish? Is it important to teach the Ukrainian diaspora what the real Ukrainian cuisine is? Is it important for foreigners to know more about what our cuisine is? I mean, I guess it's about Ukrainian diaspora cuisine.
You know, to teach diaspora, it's very hard because diaspora can teach you. I think that it's better not to say that they're doing something wrong, because they will not stop it. Unfortunately, that's the mindset of the people. It's better to show something else. It's gonna be okay. Varenyky with cheddar from Canadian diaspora. It's authentic, but a bit changed. And we have to put something like we have not to fight to cross the Varenyky with cheddar. We have to put something near, and then people will some people who will be buying, they will be person who will be buying, they will be thinking what they want to eat, to buy, or cheddar, or cherries, or poppy seeds, and that's the way how it has to be. If you will teach someone, it's the way, it's one-way ticket. We will lose it. I know if it's children, we have some chances. If it's grown-ups, you will lose your time.
Yes. Thank you, Yevhen. Our next question is about names of the cocktails. So this person, they worked abroad and always loved adding Ukrainian ingredients to their cocktails. It made them feel more local and with the Ukrainian touch. Today, a new place opened in Edmonton, owned by Ukrainians and with the Ukrainian theme, but their menu includes a Moscow Mule. For me, that's an instant red flag, to be honest. What about you? You can call the drinks anything you want, and slightly change the recipe. There is no reason to keep that name anymore.
Yeah, definitely. You can say Kiev Mule, Pam. Done. Nobody will issue. There is no rules. You have to add, for example, 1 gram more sugar. Bam, is different recipe. There is no. It's just I don't know how it's possible because I don't want to speak about this. It's that's things which we have to clean brains. We have to say that you have to call it Kiev mul. Everyone will understand it the same. It's so easy. It just you have to think step forward. What you're doing? You're promoting the country which attacks Ukraine.
Absolutely. I can just share that in Canada, when we had like bad political relationship with the United States, or still are having, the cafes changed Americano to Canadian.
Yeah. That's how it has to be. That's food is a social instrument. It's social instrument, and if you want that's what you're doing every day. You eat, and you have to. If you want to care about your I don't know your country, or you want to care about your people who you're living with. Maybe you can just open other restaurant, other country. If you call it Ukrainians, and you have to do it in the proper way. That's.
Okay,
I
Yevhen.
think maybe if we will live one day without Russia in this world, yeah, you can call it Moscow in the memory of the USSR. When about this country, when or maybe about the city which been vanished by Ukrainians. Yeah, it's okay, but not like now.
Okay, Yevhen. I think this is a really good conclusion for our discussion for today. And just before we finish, what probably like the recipe that you would like to share with our audience, that it is really easy to prepare and that they feel that it is something that it is actually represents what Ukraine is right now? Do you have some kind of recipe which is one is really easy one?
Really easy one. I don't know. It's hard to say in a way. In one way, it's uh, I think you can buy kvass, for example. Maybe
Yes.
somewhere you can buy kvass. Somewhere I think somewhere is being sold. So you can take the kvass, you can take the ribs, you can put this kvass to the ribs, and you can cook kvass. You can put ribs in a kvass for the 3 hours in the oven for the 1 hour, and then when you take these ribs, they will have the nice taste of the kvass, and then you have to put the yesterday bread on top. And this is yesterday bread, the crumbles of the bread, they will thicken the sauce, and they will have the sauce which been made by the crumbles of the bread, and you have the ribs. And these ribs will have also the bread taste, because in Europe have been drinking the beer, and Ukrainians have been drinking the kvass. That's the main idea, and it's called vereshchaka. Vereshchaka, because it's like a screamy meat. I don't know, because the meat was screaming when you were putting on the pan, and that's the easiest sauce, our authentic, and that's the easiest recipe which you can cook.